Abiola had a vivid picture of the democracy he had wanted for Nigerians. Did it see the light of the day as exactly envisioned? He may have died and June 12 may have become the nation's Democracy Day, but to the family, does the Democracy Day that Nigeria practices reflect MKO's philosophy for the nation? Olawa can cut up with some of MKO Abiola's children to find answers to the questions and to know how they have been faring since the demise of their father.
He had all. He was comfortable but disturbed by the situation of the country as handled by the military government. MKO Abiola decided to take up the mandate of giving hope to the Nigerian citizen. MKO action! He understood the task ahead and was optimistic that victory was sure. Yes, victory came. He triumphed but never got to the promised land alive.
I'm being arrested. I'm just going out now with the police.
MKO's family, that was the envy of the African continent and perhaps the world, got shattered by the demise of the man who wanted all Nigerians to have the opportunity to vote and be voted for. The children agree that the family has not recovered from the rude shock of their father's death on 7th of July, 1998.
It was a very, very huge loss for the whole family, what happened, but we thank God that we have a close-knit family.
It would have been much easier had he been alive, because a lot of the challenges that we encountered, we probably would not have encountered them.
It was such a traumatic event, what happened to the family. So we all actually went out in different ways. So it's going to take some time for us to actually come back together and become a family once again.
Only Nigeria refused to honor me, and I'm sure they will do that one day.
The formal official federal government recognition of June 12 as National Democracy Day.
Almost 25 years after, exactly 6th of June 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari, a former military head of state, announced June 12 as Democracy Day. It's 2 years of this new reality in the history of Nigeria, and MKO Abiola's children believe although democracy has come to stay, but the way it is being practiced may not be the real definition of the democracy their father envisioned.
And when I think that my father campaigned on the platform that he would be able to put in place reforms that would have Nigeria saying farewell to poverty, I think that no, this is not what he would have wanted.
This might not be his version of his democracy, but this is democracy nonetheless. And what can we do to improve on it if we see it wanting?
Democracy is evolving, but the most important thing is that democratic choice, which is what Nigeria has. And definitely, once people can decide and determine who become their leaders, then the democracy has been achieved.
On June 12, 1993, the people's hopes got expressed in a nascent democracy, but was murdered, along with a lot of those who had fought to make it happen.
Never thought people could be such cowards to kill an unarmed, 44-year-old woman, but people have their own mentality, Some people look at the world as it's like everything, but some of us see the world as a means to an end, It's a journey of a human being does not stop here. But there's not everybody that has that mentality, so I can understand why they will go out of their way, because as far as they're concerned, they have to get whatever they want, and anybody that is standing in their way has to be eliminated.
Before the day was declared Democracy Day, Nigeria had been commemorating democracy and handing over on 29th of May. But what has changed since the pronouncement was made to honor MKO Abiola?
I would just encourage Mr. President to perfect what he started by even acknowledging the day to begin with and honoring my father and all the other people who fought and paid the supreme sacrifice alongside he did. So some of those people have also been honored. So I think it's important for us to know where we're coming from, and that gives us an idea of where we're going. So yes, before and after, I think it's still a process.
What can Nigeria do to grow the nation better and stronger?
The divisions are cracks in our wall that makes it difficult for us to come together as one and build and move as one to advance the country. So I want the government to continually think about how to sow the seeds of unity.
If we can just be selfless, think less of the material gains and think more of the collective gain, not the individual material gain, I think we're going to be better off as a country.
MKO Abiola is no more, but his legacy will live in the minds of millions of Nigerians who advocate free and fair elections, as exemplified in the June 12, 1993 polls, an offshoot of Nigeria's now Democracy Day. Ola Awakon, TVC News, Lagos.